Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to another fun filled episode of the CryptoManiacs podcast. Always fun, always filled. Right, Task? Isn't your day filled with this show? Like, don't you feel fulfilled with this show?
Ab-
No?
Absolutely, absolutely. I get a lot of information and knowledge, and in fact, I did see the replay of your show last night. I
Oh,
don't usually catch it. I caught the replay. Thanks
it's
for
because I
putting
threw
up
it
a
up on
link.
threads, right? Admit it.
Exactly. Thanks
Yeah.
for putting it where I could find it. See, Threads works.
Threads
And
works.
I must say, I was rather impressed to see John G. Olson describing and talking about DeFi. That was impressive. And his views on DeFi. So
I'm just I'm just a wealth of knowledge, man. I'm just
now, also, John, I will have to tell you, we are under a time constraint because from what Matt Starkers told me, Eddie has the pool boy coming over, and then he's going to get the nails to his poodle trimmed. So he lives that posh lifestyle, unlike the rest of us, uh, or who are slumming it, and
what
with his
yeah.
pool and his poodle, and he might have to meet some friends for lunch at the ritzy place. But
what Starkers doesn't know is that I fired the pool guy, and now I'm the pool guy because now I became the pool guy.
well,
So
when you fire the help, it all falls to you. That'll teach you. We are delayed, everybody, and we're happy to have Eddie Spino here. Back for his second or third time, John. One of the two.
This is
He's been
second time.
the
Second time.
second.
No extra badge though. Just you got the first one, and
Okay.
yeah, I'm too lazy to send multiples. Sorry.
um,
Hmm.
we're a little delayed, as everybody knows, but that's because Eddie had the all important developer meeting for the Speak Network, which I guess they have every Tuesday. And I did ask Dan and Starkers to give me a little bit of blackmail material so we could do a little virtual waterboarding of you to get some information of what's going on. So I don't know. They don't tell me shit, so you probably don't either. So anyway, Eddie, it's great to have you back. John's happy that you're here. And so, what's been going on with you? Anything you want to kick off with? What have you been up to? Give us
Uh,
an update since the last time.
well, since the last time we had the Hive Creators proposal that was only for 2 months, and we have been helping create. As you may know, this proposal, the Hive Creators, was like to help with the marketing, not to do all the marketing from Hive, but to help with some things related to marketing. So something that we have been doing is design, like for social media and infographics and all kind of stuff for Hive. Also, we have helped design for with the design for some events, and we also have helped with some events, with local events in especially in Venezuela, like meetup for hivers and content creators, and also meetups where new users are attracted to join Hive. And we have I don't know how many events we've had, but it's we have helped with some of with part of the budget that from the funds from the proposal have gone to create these events. And so also we with Hive Creators we help with the design of the street workout community, which is a community that was born earlier this year. And we help with the design of the banners, and also design for other stuff that they used in the for some certificates of participation that they gave all the people that were doing the street workout exhibitions. So it's been fun. And another thing is that my project called Aliento, we began 4 months and a half. We began the witness node for Hive. That's something that we began, and we are already in position number 55 or something.
No,
I'm
why are
not
you
saying
laughing,
we're
John? Why
Dude,
are you laughing?
we've been relegated to the bottom of the barrel for Hive witnesses, man. Like, I don't know what you got to do, like whose
Well,
hand you got to shake to like get any type of support. But let's just say that for us personally, Hive witnessing is just it's definitely not a moneymaker. I mean, we
it's
take a loss
difficult.
every month.
Uh,
Yeah.
we at the moment, I think it's mostly because we have the support from They Call Me Dance both, and that's how it's keeping at least positive.
So what's the secret handshake you need? I mean, what's is there a secret handshake? You got to like hold his thumb a certain way, or like what is it? Yeah, it's fun. It's whatever. I mean, I vote for you guys. I'm sure I do.
What
Yeah.
position are you in, John?
I think we're in 80th or something. It's just depressing, dude. It's like,
You will need the Hive to be at like $3 in order to get even or something like that.
yeah,
Or
it's a loss every month, but we make up for it with our Hive Engine witness.
okay,
Our
with the
Hive
Hive
Engine
engine.
witness, we're in top 10 there. So that
So,
Mhm.
so you
Relative.
just kind of like balance them out and say, okay, our witness operation breaks even.
yeah, we're fine. I mean, it's great. We love it.
In Hive engine witness, you earn B as or what did you earn?
Well, they changed that up. So it was
Mhm.
B. They used to give
Mhm.
you liquid B. Now they're giving you staked B.
Oh, okay. So you
But
have to power it
the
down.
power down, but they doubled it.
Oh,
So
okay.
instead of 1B, you're getting the 2. So they doubled it, which is cool. So we actually have 2 witnesses there. So one we're gonna keep powered up, and then the other one we're
Mhm.
gonna keep powering down to pay for things. So it's cool. I mean, again, and just like Tass said with my amazing DeFi stuff I did yesterday. I'm really excited about all the tribal decks, DeFi pools, and everything, just because it's built on
and
Hive. There's no fees, so for me, anything we can do to
and
support it. So
did you
And,
have
and
a
it's not a Ethereum, and he doesn't have to use MetaMask. So that really seals the deal. Tribal decks may not even work, but as long as John doesn't have to use MetaMask, he's happy.
and you guys don't have a speak node yet, or are you
no,
planning to have one in the
yeah, oh
future?
yeah, oh definitely, definitely. It's just my business partner has about 20 billion things he's working on.
Mhm.
So we wanted to do the Splinterlands one, we wanted to do the Speak one.
Okay.
It's just he's got about a month and a half left of craziness, and then he's full-time working on our stuff. So in
Mhm.
about a month and a half we'll be able to really crush a lot of stuff that we wanted to do. So yeah.
And in the meantime, you keep pushing him about another app or something like that.
I bug him about things. So I'm sure it's kind of like I bug you, Eddie. Every now and again when there's something wrong with 3Speak and I can't upload something, I feel bad though, dude. Like I never want to bring it up in Discord because I'm like,
Mhm.
I know what it's like to get people like, oh, this doesn't work. It's just like, yes, we're well aware that we're the last
See,
thing,
I
20
do that,
million.
and Eddie tells me contact Vaultec.
Just
Well,
I
that's what
can
I do
I can
too.
do I can't do anything. So at the moment I don't have the skills, and we are at the moment in 3Speak we are trying to get more developers that can do the things that Voltec can, because sometimes Voltec is busy or is with other stuff, and we're working on. Lately we've been having problems with the encoding a lot, so because we have the beta testers in the encoding. I don't know if you guys are beta test on 3Speak, but
No.
they use another type of they use encoding nodes instead of using the normal encoding that 3Speak has. So in
Right.
this encoding nodes can be anyone. At the moment is Voltec and Sagar, who is developing the mobile version of 3Speak, both for Android and iOS. So they get the videos and they encode them, and they get a tiny fraction, like a 1% from the video that they encoded, and then that way they are rewarded. At the moment, it's like that. In the future, they will get one of the tokens from Speak Network in the future. So that is fun because we're getting sometimes people that are waiting like hours and hours for their video to encode, but we're working on that to make it more so they can detect the failures and auto reset, and it's encoded because if Baltic doesn't do anything, maybe sometimes it will never be encoded. So it's fun, and it's frustrating for me because I'm always active on Discord, or mostly always, and I get all the complaints and I can't do anything. I have to sometimes also bother Baltic,
Dude,
but
that's why I don't
I
bug
feel
you.
like you. I don't want to. I don't care. I don't
Hmm.
care. I just want to. So the users are getting their videos out,
Hmm. Yeah,
but
it's been working fine for me since
mhm,
I had that talk with you last time. It takes time. It takes longer for me, but that's mostly
mhm.
because of my situation. Like I'm out using satellite internet, so it
Okay.
takes longer to upload, but it goes
Also,
through all the time. So
it also
yeah,
depends on the weight of the video. So
right.
something that has worked for me is to reduce the size of the video
Yep.
and then upload it. The uploader will be faster, and also the encoding will be faster because so, when you have problems with the upload, it is mostly because of your internet most of the times,
Right.
unless 3Speak is having an issue. But after the upload is completed, you can close the window, you can even turn off your computer, and when it's encoding, it's already on 3Speak hands. And if there's an issue, there's an issue on 3Speak.
Right.
So
Mhm.
we're looking for options to do that faster.
It's been working fine. It's been working perfect for me for the past couple of weeks now. It was just that about a week and a half where I couldn't get it uploaded, and I would ninja kick my computer, and I would try throwing
But it
it
was
across the
on
board.
the
And
upload part, right?
it was
Or
most it was 99% my fault, like with
okay.
my internet. There was once where I was just like, dude, it's sitting there and it
Mhm.
says saved, but I can't save it. And that was that
Uh,
once, but other than that was just the one time, and now it's fine.
for
It's great.
example, if
Mhm.
people don't have the beta tester role and they have a failure in the upload because their internet is not working fine, for example, in Venezuela, there where they have a lot of cuts on the internet and with electricity too, and you could have like your
Right.
video 95% and you are waiting 3 hours, and you have that problem, your video will start from you will have to start all over again. But if you're a beta tester, your video will
Mhm.
be saved and you will lose like 5% and you will resume the upload. So that's
Mhm.
one of the features of the beta testing that we're still trying to improve. Well, the developers,
Yeah,
i
right.
just I just get the complaints and the feedback.
Dude, you're like the punching bag for three speak.
Yes.
Jeez.
And most of we have a big group in the Hispanic community, the three speak in Spanish, and
Mhm.
we have more members in Spanish than the official three speak Telegram group. Like we have like
Oh,
400 people.
well, that's it's actually a really good segue into this. There was someone put a I don't think it was Doze. It was someone one of those guys that's really good with numbers. They threw some
Mhm,
demographics up. It was a couple weeks ago, and they showed the user base of different countries, and
mhm,
it was like Venezuela, everyone
mhm.
else. Like
Yes.
crazy, like mind blowing. And I think it was even the demographics and some of the ratings for something like Three Speak. Like Three Speak had massive traffic from Venezuela. Everywhere else was
Mhm.
just like whatever. Amazing.
Yes,
I
we
I
have
I think it's
a
incredible.
lot of creators,
Mhm.
and they are the ones, or some of the ones that have more problems with electricity, or more. Sometimes they have to do it from their phones with their phone data instead of a
Right.
Wi-Fi. And also, you know that I don't know if you've seen that in 3Speak, you can choose the language of your
Yep.
video.
Yep.
So
Hmm.
there are some stats, and of course, English is still the number one, but
Hmm.
Spanish is second in
That's
in
awesome.
the in the creation of videos or the uploads.
Love it. Love
Let
it.
me ask you a question, Eddie, and I don't know how to size it up or what metrics to use, but when we look at cryptocurrency adoption, if you will, if we
Mhm.
start to look at cryptocurrency users, obviously Venezuela, you're looking at a country that there's a fairly large portion of the population that is
Mhm.
financially displaced. It's a lot of issues going on in Venezuela and have been for a number of years. So the ability to create content, obviously, the Venezuelans, like
Mhm.
most other people in most other nations, very creative, very insightful, and they're going to take to something like Three Speak. When you look at the Spanish speaking countries, if you will, versus, let's say, the English speaking countries, do you think the and I don't know if you can size it up. Do you think the crypto penetration rate, the crypto adoption rate, the crypto acceptance is greater in the Spanish speaking countries, like Central America, South America, as opposed to the English speaking countries? I mean, what do you have a feel on that? I mean, because you just said the Spanish speaking Telegram group is bigger, the Spanish speaking Three Speak group has more members than the Three Speak in general, which if crypto is being embraced more by the Spanish speaking countries, that would say, well, that stat is not out of line. What's your
Mhm.
feeling on
Well, I think it's because in the US or in Canada or in Europe and other places, most of the people that are in crypto, they have other streams of income. They have they have their job, they have their business, and most of them, crypto is like a side hustle or something extra, and they have spare money, or even with those checks that they got with the what's the name of the pandemic checks that they got the monthly. I forgot the name. Most people that was extra money for them, and they decided to put it in Bitcoin or other coins. So that from one side, and from in places like Venezuela or maybe other places like in Africa, like Nigeria, crypto is more than a side hustle. It's like the way to it can be the main income stream or a way for in order to survive. What I mean by surviving, like buying food, buying medicine,
that?
and other stuff. So I think that when you put it that way, people will take it more seriously sometimes, and they will uh, because in places like Venezuela, they don't have other options. They don't have a lot of options at the moment with the crisis and everything. So they have to it's a it's a to it can be good and it can be bad, because when crypto is good or when Hive is good, they can earn a lot. For example, when Hive was in $2 or $3, they could earn a lot. But when Hive goes down and is their only stream of income, it can be because their their income can be cut in half or even lower, because they are because upvotes have like a cap, or you can only create that much content, or your content can be regarded. So I think it has a bigger adoption in that way, because at least on Hive, you don't have to invest like money. You can, of course, you will
Mhm.
invest time, you will invest energy, you will have to learn how to do things correctly, because if you don't do we know that if you in Hive don't have all the information and do not do the things correctly, or start doing bad things like plagiarism and such things, it can be very bad, and you will not be able to earn anything. So so I think, talking about maybe other crypto projects, there are also a lot of people joining. In Venezuela, I know that you can pay already a lot of things with crypto or with Binance, even if it's a centralized exchange. You can pay directly on businesses. You can buy pizza, you can order food, you can pay for a car, or I don't know if it's exactly an Uber or something else, but I know that you can do that because their normal economic system or their fiat is not very. You have even a limit on how much you can withdraw from an ATM in Venezuela. You don't have like all the opportunity that you can do with crypto. And here in Mexico, we're starting to see some things. For example, in Mexico, we have a very big exchange called Bitso, and Bitso has is even, for example, Bitso is even sponsoring a sports team in Mexico,
Mhm.
like one of the big sports teams of well, here in Mexico we call it only football, but soccer. But there's a team called Tigres from Monterrey, and that team is sponsored by Bitso. So we're starting to see more of those things, and they even have Bitso has collaborations with the Mexican team, like the official Mexican team, the national team. They did some NFTs, and it's starting to begin. There's a place in Mexico City called the Bitcoin Embassy Bar, where there's a Bitcoin ATM. There's also a senator from Nuevo León that's promoting the adoption of crypto. She wants to do something similar of what has been done in El Salvador. That's her goal of that senator, and there are more and more talks with some parts of the government, but some also there are some resistance. For example, the president is not very fond, or some of the main heads of the economy, or from some banks are not. So there are the two types. The fourth richest man in Mexico, which is Salinas Pliego, Ricardo Salinas Pliego. He's a Bitcoiner, but he's a maximalist. So that's so that's something.
Cross him off the list.
Something, but he started accepting Bitcoin on his store. He sells from TVs to bedrooms and furniture to motorcycles, and he started accepting Bitcoin. So there's a little bit, and you got a discount if you paid with Bitcoin. You got a discount, but you have to pay the fees also. That's maybe it's not a lot depending on where or on how you send the Bitcoin. But now in Mexico, we can, for example, this bar that I was talking about, they accept lightning
Mm.
uh, transfers, BTC Lightning. So I could go there. I haven't gone because it's not very close to my city, but I could go and pay with Hive or HBD
Mm.
and have a pay with that
I, I
my needle.
I remember the last time you were on, you were mentioning like Hive adoption in Mexico and how you were slowly like trying to
It's
get more people.
it's
How's that
harder.
been going? How's that
It's
been going?
harder than in Venezuela because, well, in Venezuela, as I was saying earlier, they don't have a
Mm.
lot of options, so Hive is
Right.
like very attractive for them. Here in Mexico, the economy is not the greatest, but most of the people have at least a job, a
Right.
regular
Yeah.
job. Most of the people have uh, they can get a job easily. Maybe
Mm.
not, it's not paid well, but we are some Mexicans in Hive. We want to make a meetup maybe at the end of this year or at the end of, or next year, and we want to talk with Roland. Even I know that a Nomad Soul is trying to
Yeah.
convince him to have the High Fest in Cancun or something like that, or in a place like that, like a beach in Mexico.
Mm.
That will be something cool.
We really need to have something in North America, on North
Mhm.
America. I mean, it's, you
Are you
know,
guys going to the High Fest Or
No, neither of us will get out of the country for various
We're not
reasons.
allowed. I don't have my vaccines, man. So
Ah,
And I don't
okay.
have a
I'm a
passport,
plague
so
to society, apparently. So
I can't even
That's
leave. I guess I could file for one, but that'll take 2 years.
Well,
to
that's
get.
a story for a day. I'd love to hear that story of why you can't leave the country. That's an
Well,
interesting one.
it's
Young and
that's why the
foolish.
threat of regulation doesn't really scare me. I've been to law or two in the United States in my time, and
so we will have to have the high fest in Florida or where in somewhere.
yeah, or we pick a state that's really cheap in the United
Mhm.
States.
Oh well, I mean, that's Splinterfest is happening in Vegas in a couple of
Okay.
months, right?
Vegas
So,
isn't usually cheap.
well, yeah, it is. It depends on the time of the year. It's
That's
actually
true. That's
like if
true.
you do something in January, February, you can get a room on the strip for like less than $100 a night.
Like an Airbnb or something like that.
Oh yeah, you could do way cheaper than that. It's just you
Mhm.
just pick the time of the year, right? Like,
Yeah, and
but-
if you're like 2 blocks off the strip, it's like 25% of the price. I mean,
Right.
everybody
Yeah.
wants to be on the strip.
but it's to
Well-
get there is cheap. To fly to Vegas is astronomically
that's-
cheaper than going to like Chicago or something.
That's true because
you know.
there's 8,000 flights from every airport to Vegas.
I was in Vegas airport like maybe like 7 years ago or so,
Mhm.
in the Vegas airport.
Did
Oh yeah,
you
they-
get
they
arrested
you.
while there?
No,
That's
I had my
That's good.
visa. I still have my visa. I could go to the US if I wanted. I
Mhm.
haven't been there in some time, but I could go.
Well, don't worry. They'll still accost you at the airport. They still strip search you and do all the wonderful
Mhm.
things because of the Patriot Act. Let me ask you a question in Mexico, just out of curiosity. You have the peso, which
Mhm.
is your national currency. How important are dollars there? Are they highly sought after? Are there a lot of them floating around? Is it a situation where if you walk in any establishment and they say, okay, it's X number of pesos, you'll say, hey, but I want to pay in dollars, and they'll take it. And they'll
It depends. It depends on the part of the country. Where I live in close to Mexico City, so I'm like in the center of the country. So here we only use pesos, only pesos. Of course, you can go to the bank and exchange, buy dollars or sell your dollars. But I know that, if, for example, in Tijuana, where Dan lives, many of the transactions are in dollars. Or there are some people that if you're renting a room or you're renting a house, they ask you to pay in dollars. But that's because you are like in the borderline with the US. So it depends on. I believe that the states or the cities that are in the border with the US, they use a lot. They use the dollar a lot. But the rest of the country, I from my experience, we mostly use the peso, Mexican pesos. That has been doing kind of good. You know that the euro was 101. I don't know at the moment if it's less than $1, a little bit less, or the same as $1. But the peso is hanging on. Of course, it increased right now with. Let me check here with less than 20 pesos. 19 pesos with 85 cents, you can buy a $1. But of course, this like maybe before 2008, it was with 10 pesos you bought $1. So when the crisis of 2008 began, it went like to 15 pesos and then started to go up, but it has been stable at least for now, which is something not that bad. Or
Yeah,
let's see what happens.
you get into the currencies, and that I think, and I wrote about this is one of the ways for those, and obviously Mexico I think has a grand advantage as compared to some other countries that we can point to because of its proximity to the United States,
Mhm.
because of the shift away from the globalization of manufacturing. I project over it, and I think we talked about last time that over the next 5 years, I think there's going to be a lot of American manufacturing business that ends up located in Mexico, a great deal more than is already now,
Hmm.
which is obviously going to tie the two economies together to a much greater degree. But what's always interesting to me is in some countries it's very very hard to get a hold of the dollar. It's
Okay.
preferred because it's more
Hmm.
stable a lot of times than the native currency, and either your banks won't give it, they don't have it, or if you have physical currency, obviously you're in risk at risk of being robbed and things of that nature.
Hmm.
And this is where high back dollar, I think, is very
Okay.
very powerful, where it can give people in those type of countries access to the US dollar in terms
Hmm.
of the unit of account, yet they don't have to go through the hassle of actually trying to acquire dollars because
Yes.
and a lot of people, especially in the developed world, we don't think about the impact that an increase in the dollar has upon native currencies, whether it's the naira, if I'm pronounced that correctly, perhaps the pesos, the bolivar in Venezuela. A lot of these different currencies can get adversely affected, especially it gets on an exponential scale if you have like Venezuela, a lot of mismanagement and a lot of corruption and all that stuff taking place in an economic collapse. Argentina's in a rough shape right now.
Hmm.
And so a lot of times, like you were saying, the parity or the conversion from the peso to the dollar, a lot of times you can look at some of these countries and say, you know what, it really doesn't matter because if somebody is like using HBD as a savings account, they
Hmm.
are actually protecting themselves against that fluctuation of their native currency and the depreciation of their native currency, because at some point they'll be able to take the HBD, which is a dollar equivalent, in Hive, and flip it out for their native currency, which they'll end up getting more of.
Yes.
And so I think that's a use case that is really not talked about enough globally, because I think you do have a lot of people who are on Hive, like John, like myself, like people over in Western Europe, who, things will bounce around, but the economies and the currencies are still fairly stable as
Hmm.
compared. I mean, John may bitch about what's going on in Canada, but what's going on in Canada versus Turkey, Venezuela,
Yes.
Argentina, it's not even close. And I think that's really when we look at targeting where are areas that we can provide a solution. I think that's a powerful solution.
I think it's attractive. We need to get the word out there, and we something that I think we need in Hive in general is to get HBD listed in more exchanges, because at the moment you can get HBD on Bittrex, but for example, not all countries have access to Bittrex. I know that Venezuela don't have access to Bittrex. They can create an account. In Mexico, I can have access to Bittrex, but sometimes the withdrawals are suspended. So
Yeah.
the last time
Sometimes,
was
sometimes they actually go through. Most times it's
okay.
suspended.
Most times when we had the last run of the HBD that went to $3, it was because on Bittrex they were suspended and it was in 70 cents. But in so the people on the Koreans in Upbit, they decided, well, let's pump this let's pump this coin, and we had that. So I have a friend in Mexico that was doing exactly what you're saying, not with HBD because he's not a Hive user, but he was using Bitso. Maybe it's not the most secure thing because it's an exchange and they can be hacked and they can keep your coins. But he was using Bitso to buy. I think at that time was True USD, which is a stable coin, and he was, instead of buying dollars like physical dollars, he was buying the dollars directly on the exchange and keeping that. We know that that's not the safe. It will be safer to have them on Hive and to have them on savings. And we know we get, at the moment, we get the 20% APR. And because Bitso now offers an APR, but it's like 5 or 6%, something like that,
And
which
what do they
is.
pay that? What do they pay that out in?
I was trying to log in to check, but they pay that in on a stable coin, I believe. but it's like 5 or 6% on weekly. They pay that weekly. I haven't tried it, but I know that it's there. Let me see if I can log into my Bits account to check that.
That to
It's
me
it's
that always
better.
brings up the question of sustainability, because either a you do like some of them do, they pay out in their native token, which is fine if they have
Mhm,
growth, if they have development, if they have like Binance, where they keep building and stuff. I know Binance is not popular with a lot of people, but in
mhm,
terms of the business model, you really can't argue with some of what they've done. And CZ's done a fine job, in my opinion, of getting utility
mhm.
to his platform, building out different aspects, whether it's BSC and the BNB token, providing utility through the exchange for the BNB token, um, running the arbitrage bots and all the different things they do there to create revenue.
So-
So, but how many do that? Then on top of that, if they are paying out in native token, how are they sustainability? How are they not in native token? Excuse me, in like USDC? How are
mhm.
they generating that USDC?
I'm not sure because it's not like I have a I have here the page and they say it's up to 8%. I don't know, maybe on their fees, but I will
Yeah,
have
maybe.
to. I because I haven't tried it. I haven't researched it well
Yeah,
enough.
maybe it's on the trading fees, but
Hmm.
it uh, it gets into one of those situations where, I mean, we know exactly where the 20% for HBD is coming from, and
Yes,
we know what's driving that, and
um,
some
and
people
we
can.
know we
Go
know
ahead.
that if that gets out of control, and we know that it can be lowered
Yeah, yeah, the
within.
witnesses can change it, and there's other defense mechanisms. There's
Mhm,
the haircut rule in place. There's a lot of other things that
mhm.
are in place to try to defend it in case there's some nefarious activity. So I think it's one of those things, and then of course it is base. It's a base layer coin. There
Mhm,
is no third party risk like you were talking about with your friend. What happens if
mhm.
that exchange gets shut down? I mean,
Yes,
anything that's on Hive is on Hive.
or and it has happened with this exchange. I believe they have hacked it, and people have lost their funds. And I wanted to talk also about there's a something that can be worrying because it's giving a bad name to the crypto industry in general in Mexico. There was a business called Cifra where you could supposedly you put your money, like freeze it there for some time, and you get like, I think it was like 2.5%, but daily, 2.5% daily guaranteed. And at the end, what you have to do to increase your possibilities to earn more, it was to invite people. So they were supposedly earning from the trading from trading. So you could say, well, they began operating when Bitcoin had like, or other cryptos had like that big movement up. So well, it can be justified. But now that it's going down, and you don't know, of course, that money comes from the new people there is. So
Hmm.
it ended up being a Ponzi scheme. And I have my neighbor invited me to that. I have another friend that invited me. So a lot of people are, and of course, it's going to pay well in the beginning. It's going to pay people are, and people are going to get to earn a lot. The first ones are going to earn a lot of money, and that's the hook to get more people. So I think it's giving a bad name to the crypto industry, and also to other business that can be more legit, like some business that use the network marketing for as a way of selling their products. That is also, I have like a, I think we talked about that the last time. I have like my thoughts on that, good and bad. But at the end, people are attracted to easy money, and that's sometimes is that's why sometimes it's hard to promote Hive because they already have that experience in the past. So they will say, "Oh, it's the same as that." So that's why when I promote Hive, I don't tell them that they are going to earn, like guaranteed that. I will tell them that it depends on their content. It depends on if they do the things right, and that it will take time. That maybe they can earn a lot on their intro post, but on the following post they maybe could end up in zero or in a few cents. So that's why we are trying to change the way we offer Hive in general, because not as easy money or not as something, maybe promote the other things that we have in Hive, and the blogging is something extra that you are building in the meantime. Or
Yeah, and I think it comes back to, and scams are scams, and they happen in every industry and every currency. I mean,
yes.
that's just scams, and that's nothing relegated to crypto. But what we're talking about, to me, before that comes to sustainability. It's like,
Mhm.
when we talk about John Noyes Cash, and you were telling us about it, and your experience on it. And the problem I always had is, well, what happens when these large Bcash whales want to stop paying? I mean, they don't want to keep sending crypto to people. What's going to
Mhm.
happen? Where is the business model? Where's the sustainability?
Because
And
they're sending like tips or something like that.
Yeah.
yeah, they were sending like tips, and they were actually rewarding with upvotes, but I guess it came out of their pocket instead of
Mhm.
out of inflation, because obviously
Mhm.
they don't control the BCH chain. And to me, what you end up with is you end up with a situation where in crypto we don't have, and this is one of the things the Speak Network team is obviously working on. They don't fit into this category,
Mhm.
but we have so much focus on tokenomics and cryptonomics, and what is the inflation of the token, all this other stuff. We don't see business building. We don't see people
Mhm.
generating revenues to get sustainable models to be able to pay people, unless it's some type of Ponzi scheme, or unless it's some type of, okay, we'll tip. And John and I were talking about this on the last show with Kyle, and the advertising model, and people saying, well, we got to get away from that. And okay, maybe we do in
Mhm.
time, but right now there's a shitload of money that goes into online advertising. You can't argue with that. And
Mhm.
why don't crypto and Web3 projects tap into that, pull some of that revenue in? Then they can create a new distribution model. Instead of it going to Facebook or Google, they can create a new distribution model. But then you have at least a step forward to sustainability and building a business, as opposed to trying to do these things that sound nice. And if you get in early, okay, you can get some money and then you can dump it. But you better get in early and get out early, because this thing isn't sustainable. And we see
Mhm.
an awful lot of that.
And I don't think I will feel well if I made money, but then I knew that a lot of people will lose or started losing a lot of money. So I think at the end it's like the karma is going to to kick you in the face at some point. So it's, and also talking about the Speak network and about Leo threads. How familiar are you with the ceramic account system that the Speak network team is building? How familiar are you? Do you, because Starkers told me Starkers told me to mention that the ceramic account could be very useful to the Leo
Uh,
threads to the Leo threads thing
I'm
to have
laughing
off
because
chain.
I'm laughing, Eddie, because he sent me a DM last night on this. It's like, and the funny thing is, it's like, it's like my relationship to Leo Finance is my relationship to CTP. I can give a message to Cal, I can give a message to John, but that's
Mhm.
about the extent of my influence over this. I have
Oh
no
yes.
influence. And John has
maybe.
some influence because he gives them he forwards it on to Blaine, and then Blaine yells at John. So that's just their love-hate relationship. But anyway, yeah, I'm somewhat familiar with them. What it is, John, is Ceramic is a way. It's an account management system that people can log in with your favorite MetaMask, an Ethereum account, and some of these other accounts. And what it does is it can be incorporated. So, for example, let's say CTP picked up Threads. Well, does every little LOL need to be on Hive? No. So what it is you can actually have CTP run in two databases. One, they're reading the threads that are on Hive, but you can also have threads off Hive on the Ceramic network where it pulls them in together. And from the front end, it looks like a steady flow of comments and information, but actually it's pulling together two different databases. And the idea, and Starker's believes, and this is why he keeps promoting it, it opens up because now people can get involved with their Ethereum account. And they don't have to have a Hive account. They can
It's opening the market, or it's opening Hive to all the Ethereum community.
Yeah.
And also it can be to the Polygon community, or the Matic Polygon community, or others.
Yeah, and then at the same time, not everything then is placed also on the blockchain because, as we know, especially with microblogging, I mean, is it the end of the world if a lot of this stuff does not end up on Hive? Probably not. But it comes back to the account management and stuff like that, and that's what Ceramic can do because you have to log in with your keys to MetaMask or whatever you utilize.
And the idea is also to let people like have a test of what Hive can do, because if you give someone new a normal Hive account, it can be overwhelming because now you have your posting key, now you have your active key. No, but wait, you have also an owner key, a master key, and a memo key.
John's favorite.
And
how many times have you used that, John?
To unlock certain things at the Digital Hive Fest last year. The year before. The only time I've used Memo.
Yes, that's.
Or if I'm withdrawing or something from block trades too. Like you need that for the Memo key.
And so the idea is to have like a test. It could be like a Hive Lite account, something called that way. And when people start using it, maybe they can, in their engagement, they can earn some elbows that go to a proxy account. And then that when you have enough Hive, then you can create a real Hive account, and you can use, and you will pay your 3 Hive to create or 1 Hive, maybe if they change it in the future, to create your Hive account. And now you can get all the rest of the keys. And that's part of the idea. And I believe ThreeSpeak, before I joined them, they had like system like that where people could comment with proxy accounts that were controlled, were like ThreeSpeak 1, ThreeSpeak 2. I don't remember the name, but they had something like that. And I know that also the OCD community wants to do something similar like that. So those are the advantages. Of course, there's still part of it is already built, but we still need to implement it on a system. So
yeah, I think what we need to do, John, is we need to get Starkers and Cal on and let them actually talk to each other instead of, this is the
sort of us three, right? Like, I mean,
we got Eddie is messenger number 2. Last week, Friday, I was messenger number 1. Next week, John, is going to be you. Bring this up. Tell them to do this.
Guys, hold on. Time out. Let's be brutally honest. You guys have the ears of very influential people on the blockchain. I have nobody. Okay, let's be brutally honest with you. Okay, you have the ear of Cal, Task. Eddie's got the ear of Starkers and Dan. Who do I have? I have Blaine. I mean, that's who I can talk to.
And he yells at you.
And he yells at me. Like, I mean, I need some love here, man. Like, I don't have the ear of anybody, man.
Wait. I told you. You say I got the ear of Cal. I get a DM back from Cal out of the blue, and it's answering 3 months worth of DMs I sent to him. So I got the ear of Cal 4 times a year.
Well, that's
Mhm.
I mean,
You know,
beggars can't be choosers, sir.
I went on promoted the hell out of the show, just as I said on Friday's show, so Cal would see it, just so I knew he was showing up. I
There was
took
no
to social
excuse.
media.
Mm.
Um, Eddie, what needs to be done is, and I did give the information
Mhm.
to Starkers, is had to have Vaultec. This is how you do it. You have Vaultec
Mhm.
build threads on ThreeSpeak, and
Okay.
then you guys incorporate ceramic accounts into threads, and then you sit there and say, "See what we did, Cal? Ha
Okay.
ha ha! We got this." And then Cal is kind of forced to say, "Oh wait, that's a good idea. Can we do that?"
Mhm.
And it's like, "Yeah." But I did send a video to him. I'll forward you this video. It was a clip from a recent AMA, and somebody was talking about uh, Leo Talk, doing something like like TikTok, but for Leo Finance and
Okay. Mhm.
threads. And Cal even said, "Well, we really haven't talked about that, but we could do something like that. The problem is we're not going to sit there and go and build out the whole infrastructure. We got to get with ThreeSpeak because they built out the infrastructure." So he's well aware to go and see you guys. It's just,
Mhm. We
handhold
there's
things
a there's a
together.
community there's a community called Three Shorts where you can upload 60-second videos or less, and we're starting to have some initiatives and some information on that. But it will be ideal to have, because at the moment you can upload like a TikTok, or I mean like a TikTok type video on ThreeSpeak, but it will look like a vertical video with a lot of space. So we will need like the player to be specific for that, and I think that could be done. Just we need to we, there has to be some extra tools, and we also have to convince the developers, because sometimes the developers can be like, no, that because I got that answer one day. No, that is not something we are looking for, but that's where the personal opinions of the developer maybe is not on the same page of what the community wants or the community needs or the community will use. So we have to have like some talks there to show maybe that there will be actual use case of that, and there's actual need to do that. So I believe DBus was on the roadmap. There was something similar as that as well,
Mm.
but there's so much possibilities.
That's what I wrote about with threads, and unfortunately, and John was we were talking about this last week. I don't remember if we talked about it on air or if it was one of our pregame talks or something like that. But it's so important to get this stuff out in the wild, especially
Mhm,
when you got project teams that are then taking feedback from the community and then developing, and that's how you get innovation. That's how you get growth. Unfortunately, and you see it on your end, John certainly sees it on his end. So does Cal. What happens is if you bring out an application and it's not like Facebook, it's not as clean as Twitter, it's not
okay.
like
Mhm,
it's an MVP, and it's like everybody's expecting it to be like Twitter, which has had 15 years of updates and upgrades. And it's like,
mhm.
how come the app doesn't work? How come it crashes? And it's like, didn't you test it? And you're like, yeah, we tested it on our test net, but you can't
It's
hit
not
it
the
with
same.
10,000 pull requests and know if it's going to hold up till you get it out in the wild. And so I think that's kind of the catch 22 that project teams and development teams go through. And it's like, you know, things have to be proven before they're accepted or approved. But how do you prove it until it's out there? So it's kind of
Mhm,
like one person do it, and threads. If Leo Finance proves threads to be somewhat successful, maybe CTP, maybe ThreeSpeak, maybe some other front end Speak D will tap into it, and that'll help it to
mhm,
grow. And then maybe they come to you guys and say, "Hey, we need short form video content integration." but instead of using 3Speak, we want to use our site. Can we tap into your back end? Can we set? How do we do this? And you guys say, here's the technology. Set up your node. There's the software. Have fun. Knock yourselves out. I mean, that's how progress is done. And
And it's like Sarker says many times that if there are two projects working on the same thing or something very similar, it's better if they join and work together. So that's also why Starkers is always trying to connect with other apps from Hive to do something together, because that way we could get better results.
well, the
Uh,
big thing is to get the infrastructure out there, and I believe Speak Network, you guys roll out your infrastructure fully. At least the first or second phase. Then
mhm,
I think developers and other applications will see what's there and say, "Hey, we can integrate this in because the
mhm.
infrastructure's there." And Cal did say that Speak's still building it. No sense in us building the infrastructure. They're
Okay.
already working on this. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I think most people on Hive now, if they don't, they're pretty foolish. If you're going to want to do something with video, you got to turn to the Speak team. I mean, that's where
Mhm.
you go to for video. You guys are building the infrastructure and all that stuff. So, I mean, why would anybody on Hive try to develop anything with video without talking to you guys? Is beyond me.
Yes. So yes, that's what we need. The more communication, more integration of the teams, and also I'm thinking that someone was asking. I think Hive Trending was asking how many developers does Hive has, and I
Yeah,
think
so that.
we need more developers, and in maybe some people. I'm not a developer. I can rarely code. I found how to download Twitter Spaces with some codes, and I feel like wow, that's incredible for me.
I
But
got BlueStacks to work to be on CTT. I was happy with that. I mean, it's like
mhm.
I did that in under like an hour. So I was impressed with myself.
so, but I think that mm I think we're going in the right direction. We just need more developing, more and a little bit more of time, more time, because Speak Network is. For example, Voltec is very busy with many things from Speak Network. That's why sometimes he can't answer the encoding problems on the 3Speak. We need another person that can handle that is active, and can help with encoding parts and other things. And yes, we were trying to collaborate with other developer, but it seems that it was not going to go that way anymore. So let's keep doing.
Well, that's John's point. He has Blaine. I mean, if there were three Blaines, things for CTP would go quicker.
Mhm.
And but you have one person doing the development, and as he just said, he's not even full time at this point,
Mhm.
where he can dedicate 100% of his focus because he has other obligations at the moment. People have to understand it. It's going to take a while for stuff to
For
roll out,
for
and
example, I have Enrique. Enrique is the guy who created. We created the Hive creators. Well,
Hmm.
he's the main guy, but and he's a marketer, but he also knows a lot of development, and he's helping me with the node. He's helping me with the. I have a bot that helps me pay for the delegations of Aliento, and we need more people like that. Or if we already have community, I believe that if I focus, I could learn about coding or some coding, that something that I've been uh, postergating for a lot of time. So I could learn about coding and help more, but it's also it's a challenge too.
well, I'm sure if you give us enough time and enough laptops to throw around, John and I could learn coding over the next 15 or 20 years. But obviously, there's a point where, the time benefit factor is
Yes,
maybe not just
and
there, and
and we have
leave it to
different roles
others.
too. We have different roles. For I may not be a developer, but I have other roles, and
Exactly.
mhm.
John's on camera 4 times a week. That's the role he plays. and he goes on Discords and takes all the arrows from the people in Discord complaining how much, whatever they're complaining about. I mean, somebody's got to do that. You do it for Free Speech. John does it for CTP. Somebody's got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. I'm here for it.
It's fun.
It's exciting.
And I talked with Dan, and he gave me permission to talk about a special topic. You know what? What topic? A little bit.
Do I know what topic? No,
Yes.
I don't know, but I'm just impressed that we're getting a CryptoManiacs scoop here, John.
I've got to do the editing for this. I'll do like a CryptoManiacs exclusive, like right here. And then,
did you create a banner yet? It's our first one. We got to create a damn banner. We don't even have a banner made.
Well, he told me that we could talk about some updates from Ragnarok.
Oh, Ragnarok.
So some people are, because we've been very quiet. There are some reasons, and I want to express some of them. So to talk about it, the development of the game is going well. We are in the final testing phase of the pets. I don't know if you've seen that. They are going to, besides the poker element where you battle, you will have some spells and pets that will be engaging in the battle, in the 1 versus 1 battle, when the pieces find each other, the chess pieces find each other. So that's in the final steps. The development is going well. It's not stopped. What we have stopped is the art part, because the artist that we had passed away. So the person died. So has been a setback. So we're looking for a couple of 1 or 2 artists that can help us create a new set, and that can help us finish the work that was previously done by the other artist. So we're doing that at the moment. And when the pet part is polished, we're going to roll out the alpha test, and we will start inviting some members of the community to test the alpha test build of the game. And we are expecting that to be at the end of this year, before 22 ends. And there's another update. I don't know if I'm not sure if Dan has mentioned this, that we're also developing, and at the moment is in the world building stage. It's a project that is way off. It's more long term, but it's an MMO based on Ragnarok. So it's a project that is going to be that the same spells or the same cards that you have on Ragnarok, the normal game, you will be able to use them on the MMO. But in the MMO, you will create your character, and you will be able to explore the world. So that's where I've been also checking the building of the world, and it's done with the Unreal Engine. That is a game engine. So it's going to look good.
When you say MMO, you're talking multiplayer, online player game?
Massive multiplayer online role-playing game, MMO.
Okay.
Just massive multiplayer online, like World of Warcraft or EverQuest, those type of games.
Well, to go back to what you said before, I can't speak for John, but in terms of the artist, my drawing ability rivals my coding ability. So cross me off that list too.
So maybe in 15 or 20 years you could help.
Maybe it did. Well, I could learn coding. I don't know if you can learn to draw. I think it's kind of you have that talent or you don't, and I certainly don't. John, you're hired.
Like, look me up. I mean, artist extraordinaire here. I mean, this is a king. I don't know if it's his hair or if it's a king crown.
This is for interpretation.
I'd use stick figures, and even my lines wouldn't be straight. So, I blame that on
value do we bring at all, Task? I mean, like, what do we? Are we just weird, like, leeches here, man? Like, we're just...
I don't know. We just we get on camera and talk, and I don't know what value do we
Someone
bring. I
someone
don't
has
know.
to do the talking and the blogging and
Yeah. Somebody we have all know what we do, John. We have all the great ideas, and so we forward them to
Mhm.
Blaine, we forward them to Starkers, we forward them to Cal, and say, get it done.
Yeah.
and
We're
and then they
the idea people. You ever seen that movie Night Shift with Michael Keaton and Henry Winkler? He was I'm an idea man.
You're dating yourself there, sir.
Yes, I am. I'm going back to like about
Michael Keaton and
1982.
Henry the Fonz. Wow. And Batman. Wow.
And the woman who was Diane on Cheers before she was Diane on Cheers. Um, well, that's good. The reason why Dan probably allowed you to throw that out is because I on Leo Glossary I started a Ragnarok
Okay.
page. So actually, you could be a great help. It seems like
Mhm.
you have a lot of familiarity with the game and the terms and what spells are and what pets are and
Mhm.
things of that nature. So maybe I'll have to send some of this to you, and if you have some time, you could write up quick description so I could get that posted as to what the different things are. So we're it gives people a reference point ultimately where to go to, and
Mhm.
also to help hopefully with the search engine rankings for Ragnarok and things of that nature, that they get a little attention for that even before the game's release. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, the MMO game, that could be pretty incredible if it evolves into something like that.
Mhm.
A lot of good stuff. I mean, we know that John and
And
I have people on every week who are involved in different things, and some are major projects like Ragnarok, others are little community focused things, but it all adds up in our opinion.
and if someone from the guys that are listening know an artist, please you can contact me and we can see if you are an artist or know someone that is an artist, especially if they are on Hive or they accept crypto as payment. The thing here is that Dan is funding the game at the moment, so
Hmm.
he's paying for the developer and he's paying the developers. He was paying the artist before he died, and uh,
The way he said that, he starts laughing before he died. I mean,
well,
oh.
I mean, it's more complicated than that, but and and so it's better if someone that they are accepting crypto. So we're not looking for a pro. We're not looking for a pro that we will have to pay thousands of dollars for the for the work. We're looking for someone that maybe is starting that can be good enough. So we're not looking for the best for the best person to be the artist. Someone that is, so to
well,
keep that in mind.
well. My question is, when you say good enough, and now that you saw John's artwork, where just so we have a range, where does John's artwork range in the good enough level? Is that just below, just above, way below, way above? Should somebody aim a little bit higher than what John did?
Yeah, do a little bit more than what I did, guys. Yeah. Yeah.
But John, if you had different color pencils, that might be an incredible drawing.
Dude, I
Because
got
we know that my wife is an artist, so we know that it's not easy to do all of this. But the thing is, my wife doesn't is not the style, is not the her drawing is not the style that Ragnarok needs, so it's a little
Mhm.
bit complicated. But maybe she can help with the coloring. So we're looking into that. We're working. We want to finish that part of the art so we can have more, because the art has to be done before the NFTs are rolled out.
mm.
So that's kind of a bummer.
I can't help with coloring. I could never stay inside the lines on that either. So I mean,
Yeah.
that
Dude, there's tons going on. I mean, it's I'm just as bullish as I've ever been about Hive and everything being
Hmm.
built here. And it works because there's guys like you, Eddie, that are busting your butt every day and helping this community grow. And I'm not going to try. I'm trying not to get too warm and fuzzy here. Not trying to get too emotional. But I mean, this is what. No, this is really
Yeah.
what's going to make this thing, explode.
Yeah.
Is the people and
The efforts of hundreds and thousands of people,
Mhm.
and some
And
making
there are a lot
huge
of
efforts, some making small effort.
there are a lot of people contributing,
Yeah.
and I have a lot of good friends that are contributing. We're putting our little or small grain of salt to help
And
build this.
and that's one of the things we like to do on here, Eddie. We want to put a spotlight on all the different contributions to different projects, what people are doing, because it all feeds into the same trough. And
Mhm.
you get somebody like yourself who is kind of behind the scenes. You're a low key guy. You're a very calm guy. In contrast to who we have on next week, Jimmy Adamas, who's a
oh
little bit.
boy, yep, yep.
He's a little bit more high strung, a little bit more intense, and that's fine. I mean, we need both, and all are providing contributions, but both of you are cutting from the same mold. You just
Mhm.
look at things and say, where can I make an impact? And then you just go to it and do it. And it's like, that's it. Any questions from the peanut gallery, John? Anybody have any comments, any questions, anything they want to
No,
know from Eddie?
no, it was good. It was good. Good show, and yeah, looking forward to seeing everything being built on Speak and Ragnarok. I mean, obviously, we're raving fans of it, and looking forward to it, man. And everything that's going on too with Hive creators.
Mhm. We
That's
may
much needed.
we still have funds from the proposal, and
Mm,
we may if those funds we run out of those funds, we will may do create another proposal
mm,
to for that. So also Guilty Parties is helping a lot. He's helping a lot with the coordination of many events.
nice.
You know that he has the with other people they have the value plan account that at the
Hmm.
moment we'll use most of the funds for the high fest because that is a lot of a lot of funds are going to be used for that.
Hmm.
And also we are going to create an initiative to give away, I believe, four tickets to high fest in
Mm.
the that's why I was asking. but
Oh, very nice.
but
Yeah,
the problem is
yeah, my country.
getting there too because it's far. It's very
It
far.
ain't
Where,
cheap
where,
to go
where's
to
it?
Amsterdam. So
Amsterdam?
yeah, it's in Amsterdam. Well, it ain't cheap. So
I think John and I will be watching it on video.
Hmm.
yeah, I
But we'll
can't.
be cheering everybody on because
Yeah,
we are
I'm there in
optimistic.
spirit. Yeah. Let's say, hey, who knows? Maybe if the government relaxes their rules and regulations here, I'll see what I can do. But
Hey, maybe when is that? When it's a while down the road, right?
no, it's
November,
September.
No, September in 1 month.
Yeah, it's like a month from now.
It's a
September.
month
And
from
then
now.
then Splinterfest is October, first week in October.
Maybe John will have a thread fest on it, and we'll get on threads, and we'll talk as the speakers are going. We'll have a party.
I'm doing a dance fest. Okay, I don't thread, I dance. No.
Yeah, going back to last night's show, it didn't seem like Blame was too receptive to the dancing John icon to remind people to pay their HBD
That
since it's
was
only for
my. I'm saying, just have something that just comes across your screen. It's a dancing John. You
yeah.
owe us money if you want to stay upgraded. Yeah, it'd be great, and just dance across the screen. No, okay.
Eddie, on that note, is there anything you wanted to add that you're involved in? Three Speak, Ragnarok, Hive in general, anything that you want to cover that we did not cover here?
Mm, well, we talked about the Speak Network also. Uh, to let people know that they now can delegate their larynx to a node operator. That's
Okay.
something
Yep.
that
Big thing
uh,
since Monday.
if you are a node operator, it's better to lock your larynx than to delegate them. So that can to lock them in your node. And for example, we have with Dan and Enrique's helping, we have the an account called TMCD, that stands for They Call Me Dan, slash SPKCC, and that account already has 17 Speak tokens. So Speak tokens are starting to roll out, and at the moment that's very the distribution is very small, but with time it will increase, and also in the future we will be able to delegate larynx not only to node operators of the Speak claim chain, but also to CDNs and validators and to encoding nodes and more in the future. So that's something that will be rolling out little by little, and that's I think that's it. The if you have spare votes, we, you can support us with our witness. That's with those rewards, we are also creating initiatives for the community. Oh, we have something that I was missing. It's most for the Hispanic community, but we began a challenge called in Spanish Reto Morphosis, which is like a metamorphosis challenge. And the challenge is to achieve your ideal body, like a challenge to start exercising and to eat better and to be more healthy. And that challenge will be on Hive. So we are challenging people to make an introduction post or like a sign up post where they can share their details. If, of course, that's it's not it's something that takes some photos and to put some goals to maybe reduce a few pounds or a few some kilos some kilos, and to the idea is to have a better body, because we know that in Hive we are, if we work in Hive, like most of us are all the day in the computer, we that lifestyle can create us in the future health problems. So that's why this this challenge was created. We are going to be like 3 months, and we want to rest for the holidays. And in January, we might, if things go well, we might create another challenge to another 3 or 4 months to in January
Work off that
to
holiday food.
okay, exactly. So that's something that was an idea from a community member that he came to me and he said, hey, let's create this challenge, and I'm putting some liquid hype for the prices, and we're curating content and everything. So at the moment, we don't have a lot of entries yet, like maybe five, only like five, but we expect to in the coming days to have more people joining. So that's the invitation. If anyone wants to join or to join in the next one,
Very nice.
it's going to be fun. That way I'm pushing myself to start doing some exercise and eat better, because I have gained some weight in the last couple of years.
Dude, I've been working from home behind my
Hmm.
computer for over 20 years now. And then
Okay.
last year I got diagnosed type 2 diabetic. So
Okay.
trust me, sedentary lifestyles, sitting behind a computer, it adds up. It really
Hmm.
does. So definitely, man, get out there, get moving.
And use the ActiFit app, a great way to get
Okay.
rewarded and
Mhm.
motivate yourself to
Yes,
get out there and get your
that's
steps in.
something that we're missing, but we will see if we can maybe have a collaboration with them within the challenge.
Nice.
Hmm.
Beautiful. Thanks for
Yeah,
coming, man.
I would suggest talking to Farhad. He'll
Hmm.
probably team up with you on something like that.
Just maybe for this one, it might be difficult because we already started. But for the next one, we can. I have talked with him before. So because he was uploading some videos to 3Speak, but I have contact with him.
Well, we
Yes.
appreciate you taking the time out and coming on and giving us all that you're involved in and giving us updates and an exclusive.
My
I mean, John,
pleasure.
I feel so special now.
I know. Appreciate it, man.
Exclusive.
Thanks for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you for the invitation. It was great.